Our world literally runs on data. And in this world, there's a standard that might sound a little cryptic, but it is absolutely essential for keeping all that information safe. It's called ISO 27001, and you can think of it as the international blueprint for building digital trust. So today, we're going to break down exactly what it is, how it really works, and why it matters more now than ever before.
All right, so here's our roadmap. First, we'll survey the modern digital battlefield. Then, we'll introduce the framework designed to win on it. We'll get into the nitty-gritty of the blueprint for protection, see what winning actually looks like by earning digital trust, and finally, we'll look at how this whole system stays one step ahead of the threats.
First up, the digital risk landscape. You know, with every amazing leap forward we make in technology, from the cloud to AI, the threat of data breaches and cyber attacks becomes, well, pretty much a given. The old way of doing things, of just reacting to problems, it just doesn't cut it anymore.
And this really leads to a fundamental question that every single one of us and every single company has to ask. In this environment where threats are literally everywhere all the time, how can you be sure that your most valuable information is actually safe?
Well, it really comes down to two totally different mindsets. Without a framework, security is like playing whack-a-mole. You're just plugging leaks as they pop up. It's reactive, it's disorganized, and you are always one step behind a disaster. But with a framework like ISO 27001, you're not just plugging leaks, you're engineering a stronger dam from the get-go. The entire approach shifts to being proactive, systematic, and genuinely resilient. It's a real game changer.
So what is this framework really? At its core, ISO 27001 is all about something called an Information Security Management System, or an ISMS for short. And this isn't just some dusty rulebook. It's a living, breathing system for managing a company's sensitive data.
An ISMS gives you the structure to build your security policies, actually roll them out, maintain them, and here's the most important part: to continually improve them, because the threats are always changing, right? It's all about creating a culture of security, not just checking off boxes on a list. And this whole system is built on three simple, powerful principles. People in the industry call it the CIA triad. Confidentiality is about keeping secrets secret. Only the right people can see the information. Integrity is making sure that information is accurate and hasn't been messed with. And availability means you can actually get to your information when you need it. Every single part of ISO 27001 is designed to protect one of these three things.
Okay, so that's the theory. But how do you turn these principles into a real-world blueprint that a company can follow? Let's dive into the mechanics of how this thing actually works.
The absolute heart and soul of ISO 27001 is the risk assessment. See, instead of just applying some generic security fix, the standard forces you to take a hard, honest look at your own unique security risks. It's all about a tailored approach, not a one-size-fits-all solution.
And you can see just how methodical it is. You start by figuring out what you're trying to protect. Then you identify all your important assets, like, say, a customer database. From there, you brainstorm all the threats and vulnerabilities. Then you ask two simple questions. How likely is this to happen, and how bad would it be if it did? That helps you prioritize the biggest fires, and then finally, you decide what you're going to do about each risk.
So once you understand your risks, you turn to this. Well, you can think of it as a master toolkit for security. It's called Annex A. It's basically a comprehensive catalog of all the different security controls you can put in place, covering everything from access control and encryption to physical security. You just pick the tools that make sense for the specific risks you found.
And this might be the most crucial point of all. This is not a set-it-and-forget-it deal. The whole system runs on a continuous improvement loop called Plan, Do, Check, Act. You plan your defenses, you implement them, you constantly check to see if they're working, and then you act on what you've learned to make them even stronger. It's a permanent cycle of improvement built for a world where the threats never, ever stop.
Okay, that sounds like a lot of work, right? So what's the payoff? What does a business actually get from doing all this? Well, the benefits go way beyond just preventing bad things from happening.
So what's the number one payoff? Trust. Plain and simple. A survey by BSI found that a whopping 80% of certified businesses inspire more confidence from their customers and partners. In a world where a single data breach can destroy a reputation overnight, being able to prove you take security seriously is a massive advantage. Trust is the new currency. And that trust translates directly into a serious competitive edge. The same research showed that over 71% of these companies say it gives them an advantage in the marketplace.
And that makes perfect sense, doesn't it? If a customer is choosing between you and a competitor and they see you have a globally recognized standard protecting their data, well, that can be the one thing that seals the deal.
And this is what that proof looks like. The certification mark is a powerful, internationally recognized symbol. It immediately tells everyone, from your clients to your partners to regulators, that your organization has put in the work and meets the highest global standards for security.
And the list of benefits just keeps on going. You're not just building trust, you're also helping ensure compliance with tough regulations like GDPR. You're dramatically reducing the risk of a costly data breach. You're improving your ability to bounce back from disruptions. And maybe best of all, you're building that security-first mindset into the very DNA of your organization.
Now, for a standard like this to be any good, it can't be stuck in the past. The digital world changes in the blink of an eye. So, let's take a look at how ISO 27001 evolves to keep up with the times.
The most recent version was released in late 2022, and this wasn't just a minor refresh, it was a major overhaul, specifically designed to tackle the biggest security headaches we've faced today: the explosion of cloud services, the new reality of remote work, and the fact that cyber attacks are just getting more and more sophisticated.
A key change was to that Annex A toolkit we talked about. The old version was a bit clunky, with 114 controls across 14 different categories. The 2022 update streamlined this, grouping everything into just 4 simple themes, which makes a lot more sense. They also added 11 brand new controls to deal with today's biggest risks.
And here are just a few examples of those new controls. Threat intelligence means you have to proactively look for threats, not just wait for them to find you. Information security for use of cloud services. That's a big one, obviously. And others, like data leakage prevention and secure coding, are all about building security in from the very beginning, not trying to bolt it on at the end.
Which brings us to our final and most important takeaway. ISO 27001 teaches us that security isn't a finish line you cross, it's a process. It's a continuous cycle of planning, doing, checking, and acting. It's about building a system that's resilient and designed to adapt. So the real question to leave you with is your approach built to last?